You take it all out, watch me hit it like a good blood. You ain't even gone, not coming back. You really wanna love like that? Hey.
Hey. Welcome to the Beat 139. My name is Donveto, and we have an amazing guest with us today. I think she came from LA, all the way from LA. She goes by the name of Lana Love. Lana, welcome to the show, Lana. How you doing today?
I'm excellent, Vito. Thank you for having me.
Hey, thank you for coming.
Happy to be here.
Thank you for coming.
We got Team Love in the building. What's up?
Team Love, what up? What up, Team Love? Lana Love right here. That's right.
Love you.
Yes.
Love you.
Hey, Vito.
What's up? How y'all doing? What's good? Don Vito in the building. Absolutely. That's what we do. So, Lana.
Yes.
So, it's a pleasure to have you today.
Thank you.
So tell everybody where you from.
I'm from Hotlanta, Georgia.
Well, Atlanta, Georgia.
Hotlanta, Georgia
Atlanta got it
originally.
going on.
Then Florida, then New York.
Mhm.
Actually, right down the street. We drove past my old street
Oh,
on
wow.
the way here.
Okay, that's
so I got
Harlem.
to say,
It's Harlem.
yeah,
You
baby.
got some Harlem in your blood.
6 years.
Ooh, wee.
9 different apartments in New York, and then I just moved to LA about a year ago, and then I'm back.
So what made you move to LA?
I got a record deal moving out to LA. And so they moved me out, and I've been out there for the past 9 months, essentially working on my project. Now I'm doing it on my own terms, but that's why I moved out. And then I'm here for a week, seeing you and producing my album, my EP.
Okay. So let's take it back a little bit, Lana. So you're originally from Atlanta.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's talk about it. When you grew up, what was life like when you were growing up?
I lived on a farm, essentially. I mean, I grew up in like podunk. I had an accent. The whole thing's gonna come back when I start talking about it. Or I drink too much, or I get into a fight. It all comes back.
The country bump did come
Oh,
up.
I so am.
Okay.
Shotgun in the back and all. Not really.
Right.
But it was, a completely different world than this. You know. But my
farmland.
Yeah, straight up farmland.
Yeah.
Like we had dogs, we had a garden, I had strawberries, my dog would eat the strawberries all the time in the back. We had a trampoline, we had grass, which is not something you see here often. So moving to New York was a big, obviously a big shock.
Why did you move to New York?
I wanted to do Broadway. That was my goal. So I picked up, I went to college for a couple years, was gonna do pre-med. And then I was like, this just isn't going to work. Number one, organic chemistry,
was
and I don't get
pre-med
along.
something that you wanted to do or your parents wanted
Parents.
to do? You know, it sounds like a parent thing right there all the time, you know?
Do you have kids?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so you,
Yeah, I know how it goes.
Yeah.
So you said, forget about what my parents want. This is what I want, so I moved to New York. And then what?
Yeah, I had to do it. And I went to AMDA for 2 years, American Music and Dramatic Academy. And then right out, I booked my first gig touring the world with Disney. So that was my first gig out of college, was a cruise line.
So how was this? Just tell us about that experience.
Well, I almost got fired. I'm just being honest with you.
Right, yes.
Yeah, I almost got fired a couple times, but it was really good. You know what? It was beautiful to see the world. I went to 24 different countries on that cruise.
Oh, wow.
So every single day I would wake up and I was in a new city and I would get lost. That's why I almost got fired, because I got lost a lot. And then I would never make my way back to the ship. This one time I remember I had somebody call. I was in Italy. No, I was in Tenerife. I was in Spain. It was our last day and they were about to cross the transatlantic. I had 1 hour left to get on the ship and I was 3 hours away.
Oh, wow.
So I had somebody call and in Spanish talk to the guard, and somehow they let me back on the ship. But I was supposed to be fired, sent me home, all that stuff. But
So everybody had to wait for you.
by the grace of God, somebody else was later than me. So
How many years were you on the cruise ship?
it was a little under a year. Little under a year.
And you traveled that many places every year?
Yeah.
Oh,
Every
wow.
day a new spot.
All right, so after the ship, then what?
Then I came back and cut my teeth here with audition season. So I did Broadway, I did musical theater. I ended up writing a show for 2 years that ended up getting funding and is in the process of going to Broadway now. And I did theater, and then I was a dancer, and I broke my foot, and so that kind of put a stunt to things. I just propped my foot up right on my piano, and I played for 6 months, and I wrote an album, and then I went, oh, that's what I'm supposed to do.
Oh wow! So you play piano?
I do.
What
I
else
play keys.
musical instruments do you play?
I dabble with drums.
Right.
I can play guitar.
Right.
But really, once you play one
Right.
instrument, piano especially, I always tell kids to start with piano and opera, because like everything, you know, classical stuff, everything stems from that. It came
Okay,
from
so your interest was theater, I'm gathering, and then so you started getting a love to be a singer.
Oh yeah, I always had that.
Right.
I came out of the womb singing Phantom of the Opera. I mean, I don't know many kids who do that, but that was me.
So you sing opera.
I sang straight up opera.
So in this building right here, the acoustics are pretty cool. Can you just sing some opera real quick? That's what we do. You know,
Let's do it.
You gotta let
Okay.
your fans hear,
Oh my
hear you
God.
sing some
Ready?
opera.
Okay.
We ready. Let's go. I'm ready.
The Phantom of the Opera is there inside your mind.
Oh wait.
A little bit, right? I didn't expect that. I haven't sang opera in years.
That was beautiful. Okay.
I love it. I love it.
So I think if you could sing opera, you could pretty much sing
You
anything.
could, you know.
You know?
So whatever.
All right. So now you have a musical background. You have a theater background.
I do.
So what triggered in your mind? Say, you know what? I want to be an artist.
I had something to say that was boiling up in me, and I didn't know what it was for the longest time. And I knew I had been through a lot of stuff that not many people go through. And I beckoned it. I asked for it because I want a full life and I want to experience everything.
So you
that
put
I
it to the
can.
universe.
Absolutely.
Oh, wait.
I just wanted to experience life fully.
Yes.
And I never had an understanding of what love was. I never really formed a definition for myself, so I was always seeking it.
What do you mean by that? Let's talk about that for a minute. Love is big, and you say you never had a definition for what love was. Well, it had something to do with you coming up as a kid, or
Everything.
Let's talk about it.
Everything.
People need to know about that.
My parents, I was never really close with my family. I always felt like a black sheep. I didn't really have friends in school, to be honest. I was constantly working. I just wanted to do theater.
Yeah.
Like I would go home, I'd go to lacrosse practice, and then I'd go to the theater till 11 p.m. every night. Every night. I didn't even go to prom.
Right.
I went to one prom.
Right.
But that was my focus.
Right.
I didn't have friends really. I just kept to myself. I was very secluded, and I didn't feel like anybody really got me.
Right.
So I wrote. That was how that was my home.
Right.
And that's what I always go back to. Even when I was on the ship, I wrote a musical while I was on the ship.
Right.
When I got off the ship, I wrote another musical. And it just kind of continued. It kept falling into my lap, and the universe was like, hey,
yes.
this is your outlet.
Right.
All this stuff that you went through as a kid and is put into this.
Right. So they say like when you're going through stuff, when you're growing up, or even as an adult, when you put it on paper and you let it go, it relieves some of the things that you're going through that might have you down, or even things that lift you up. It's good to put it on paper. So a lot of your writing about love came from things that you experienced in life?
My writing from love came from the lack of it.
Okay.
And I truly believe you have to experience the lack to understand what it is. I don't think that we have a definition of it until we go the opposite route. So it's like, how far are you going to allow yourself to go in both directions?
Right.
What is your capacity to love?
Right.
Because I think we numb ourselves now because it hurts. Right? Yeah. There's this like shield up, especially in New York and even in LA too. And there's so many different kinds of love, and I feel like we just focus on the romantic kind as opposed to this conversation is love.
Yes, that's it.
My team is love.
Absolutely.
Team love.
Team love. That's right.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
yes.
Yes.
Like, that's what this is about.
Yes,
Like, that's what
yes.
this human experience is about.
Yes, I agree.
So, and that's not romantic, right? That's another kind of love.
That's
So there's
pure love.
Pure love.
Yes, yes,
That's friendship. That's
Right.
homies. It's blood. That's
right.
like, you know?
yes.
Hey. You know, so it comes from a kid, it comes from a dog, it comes from your favorite sweatshirt that your mom got you when you were 8, it comes from the nail polish that you're wearing and all the rings and all the whatever.
Yes. They say love makes the world go round.
It does. It's
And
everything.
a lot of the songs that were timeless
Yes.
were love songs.
Sure.
And the timeless love songs were songs that were real.
Yeah.
Were real, from R&B to pop,
Yeah.
to opera,
Yeah.
to rock and roll.
All of it.
Love always
And
wins.
it's true.
Absolutely.
It's divine.
Yeah, so they call you Lana Love.
They do. That's what they call me.
There it is. So why you chose the name Lana Love?
I chose that name because I didn't understand what love was, and I didn't have enough of it in my life, and I'd experienced the lack of it for almost my entire life until I understood that I had a choice. I could choose to love, and I wanted to find some kind of definition, and I made it my purpose on this planet to figure out what that was for myself, and hopefully for other people, and help other people to love to a greater capacity and to connect more.
Do you have any mentors?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have a lot of mentors
Right.
in all different kinds of areas.
Right.
Nicole's my business mentors. Bad ass.
Shout out to Nicole.
Shout out to Nicole.
Shout out to
Bad
Nicole.
ass. I had, love you. I've had many, you know, so many mentors. Antoinette de Petropalo is one of mine. She's fierce, like Cirque du Soleil, crazy theater gal, and you know, people who've just taken care of me over the years. Nacho Cano from Meccano, the band, who's a famous, like, Britney Spears of Spain kind of a deal. I wrote a show with him for about 2 years of my life, and he taught me everything that I know, really, about writing pop.
So let's talk about your music career. Who are some of the producers that you work with?
I work with a lot of producers, a lot of different ones, and they've worked with everybody. I mean, Jeezy's last album, Halsey, Pink, Whitney. You know what, I'm always interested in working with the greats. So like Mariah Carey, people who can really sing and do real music.
Yeah.
I'm working with a guy now named Frank Knuckles. Shout out to Frank if he's watching. And he's excellent. He's in the band The Roots. And he's going to be executively producing this next project.
I saw the Roots the other day at the Apollo.
Hey.
The Roots were, I think it was last week. The Roots band is serious.
They're just musicians.
Yes, they are. Yeah.
They're musicians.
Pure
and we don't
musicians.
have enough of that
Enough of
right
that, yeah,
now.
exactly.
With a message,
Right,
you know?
right. But right now we talk about Lana Love,
Anyhow,
right?
but yeah.
And Lana, so I heard some of your music and I saw your videos, and you are amazing. Seriously.
thank you.
I wouldn't even be interviewing you wasn't amazing. Your voice is amazing. Your videos are amazing. The way you dance, you got it. You know what I mean? What's going on right now that your viewers and your fans need to know that you're working with right now? You got a couple of videos that I saw. You got some amazing music and stuff like that. So what's your plan? What do you want to see happen in the near future?
I want to release something, and I am going to release something that I'm very, very proud of. And it's going to be right on all aspects, the business side.
Let's talk about the business side.
Let's talk about the business. I want to talk about the
Let's
business.
talk about the business.
I love the business.
Right.
I love the music business. It gets me hot.
Right.
I love it.
Okay.
And it's weird because most artists don't. Most artists, you know, really just shy away from it. I cut every single deal that I make,
Right.
and I make sure of it.
What do you mean by that?
Meaning I'm at the table.
Right.
I'm interviewing them.
Mm-hmm.
They may think that they're interviewing me, but that's not how it goes.
When we first started the show, you started interviewing me. And I felt comfortable too. You're natural. You're natural.
Thank you. Hey. Ditto.
Yeah.
But really, I just have to make sure that they're aligned with the project. I'm choosing not to sign with a major label right now. I don't want this project to be on a major label because I want to do it myself. And I want every single person on the team to be aligned with what I'm doing. That number one thing is love, is not being jaded in a business that is beyond jaded. We've all been cut. We've all been hurt. We've all been screwed with, right?
Yes.
In any business, really. But they've still got to have a pure heart.
Right.
So that's my discerning factor. And I have to interview them. Nicole has to interview them. You know, we work as a team.
Right.
All of us. And team love that's what we are. That's the vibration that I want to put out, and that's what this next project will be. And the musicianship will be there. The dance will be there. The keys will be there. Everything stemmed from the keys, from that first love, that Family Opera. First time I sat on the piano, I was 5 years old, and I plunked out Family Opera out of thin air. My mom was like, what just happened?
So when did you learn how to dance?
I started when I was young, but I took a lot of time off, and I picked it back up when I was 18. And I just said, you know what? If I want to be on Broadway, I got to learn how to dance.
Right.
Started dancing 5 hours a day, taking circus classes. I did silks for years, lyra, did a bunch of random stuff, and I got really good at it. But I always pushed myself.
So you're multi-talented. You play the piano, you sing, you dance, you act. You're a total package. You're a total package.
And business.
And business.
Right.
Business is big.
That is number one right now.
The business.
Yeah.
Right. So even though you might have a team assembled, you're hands-on with all business aspects of your career. That's very smart.
Every single decision.
You're not going to get caught out there like TLC.
I ain't nah, baby. Nah, we learn, right?
Yeah.
We all learn.
Sad but true.
Sad but true.
Yeah.
Well, it's just, who do you want to be in the world? Do I want to give everything up and be miserable? I already did that. When I moved to LA, I had a deal and it totally fell through, and I said no.
What happened?
A lot. But essentially, what comes down to a lot of false promises. Nothing was in black and white. Always get everything in black and white.
Did that happen, not to cut you off, did that happen because when you went out there, you were like anyone else who comes to comes to New York from another part of the country, where they go to LA looking to be famous, people selling dreams and stuff, like especially women, and maybe you were by yourself, you didn't have a team assembled and guys just
Women
tell
and
you
men.
right.
Women and men.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, essentially, it was my first time really. I'd spent a little bit of time in LA, but not in the business. They knew I was fresh, but I learned real quick. I only need to learn the lesson one time, right?
I respect that.
That's it.
Yeah.
Once I learn it, you're done. Now I just cut. If it's not right, it's out.
Right.
If it isn't in alignment, if it isn't in love, and I truly believe, and I really want to change the way that the business is right now, because it's so undercutted and backhanded in so many ways. But we really can do business with love. I keep saying, Nicole gave me this phrase, kindness is the new currency. It's currency. It's vibrational currency. And we can use it. Love is currency. Because there's all these different kinds of love. You know, it's just how do we use it? And can we get more of it in business?
Yeah, well, you're 100% correct, because business can get tricky at sometimes in all forms of business.
Yeah.
But if you know your business, nobody can play you in business.
Exactly.
You know? So it's important for people to, no matter what you're doing in business, learn the business. If you have an accountant, learn something about accounting. If you got a bookkeeper, learn something about bookkeeping. If you're in the music business, learn about the music business. All this information is there.
Yeah, it's all there.
So let me ask you a question. So now, you say you don't want to do the major label thing. So you're going independent? What do you do?
Going independent with distribution, probably. Yeah, but I'm assembling my team right now of heavy hitters.
Right.
Every single person on my team wears a lot of different hats, especially right now and in the beginning. That's how it has to be in any team when you're building an empire.
Yes.
That's what I'm doing, an empire of love. That's what we are building as a team. You know, and now you're part of it.
There it is. I'm proud to be a part
Empire of love.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I'm here to support. I love to help people. It was all about, I say, sharing's caring, caring is sharing, and people should, you gotta give back.
Yes.
You gotta give back, and you gotta care.
Well, that's why we're here.
Yes.
It's for the next generation to come up with a little more knowledge than what we have. Look at how smart the kids are today.
Yeah.
They're on their iPhones doing more stuff than I even know. I'm like, I don't know what app that is. What is that? And it looks like Pixar movie on the, thing. And I'm like, wow. Because that's, what are we going to give the kids? What are we going to give them? We're going to give them love, or we're going to give them hate?
That's right.
I'm going to give them love. And actually, on my project this week, I'm recording Carmine's back there, Nicole's son, and we're recording Phoebe, a couple of other of my students. I used to work with the Philharmonic Youth Chorale as well, so I'm getting all my old students together, and I'm putting them on my track because I want their beautiful, pure voices on my track, and I want them to have an experience. I'm getting together all the kids I used to teach dance to. We're going to do ABC and Fox in my hometown. That's all in the works. So I've laid down this foundation of kids, youth, that I want to involve in the music business in a healthy way, in a beautiful way. I think that's the purest expression of all.
You have a good heart.
Thank you.
And I feel a lot of passion coming from you. And you win with passion. I'm looking at you and I'm like, this girl's real passionate about. You're passionate about love, you're passionate about yourself, you're passionate about your career, you're passionate about the team that you're assembling.
Yes.
The team doesn't necessarily have to be your family, because family can be your friends. You understand?
They are my family.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about your blood family. Your family, your friends could be your family.
Yeah.
And I can see it in your eyes that you're gonna win.
Thank you.
You're gonna win. And I'm going to watch your journey into stardom. You're going to win. Just because you're doing it for the love.
I am.
You didn't mention anything about money. You're doing it for the love. And when you do it for love, you always win. You always win. But I would like to hear another song. I want to hear some more music, from Lana Love. We got any more music? Can we hear another track? Can we play another track real quick, some type of way? Lana Love got, we want to let her music be heard.
Nicole's going to pull it up.
Yeah, we're going to pull up some music for Lana Love. And I still want to thank you for coming to the show. You're very beautiful. You got star quality.
Thank you.
I can't see nothing but big things happen for you, stuff like that. Can you tell everybody your social media links while we're waiting for the song?
Let's do it, yeah. You can find me at Lana Love Music on IG, Twitter, Facebook, all that jazz. That's it, Lana Love Music.
Lana Love Music.
Yeah.
And how many songs have you recorded so far?
For this EP? Or just in general?
In general.
Well, I've released, I want to say 5 songs, some remixes.
Yes.
But for this EP, I'm probably going to do 4 or 5. It just depends. And this next EP is about, the title is What is Love? And I'm exploring the different facets of love that I've been through since I started this journey. It's been 9 months I've been developing this. It's a baby. I'm essentially having a baby of love.
Right.
And when it's ready to give to the world, I'll give it.
So I hear some music coming up.
Oh, she pulling it
I want to hear
up.
some music.
Oh, this is a new one. This ain't even
Nicole,
dropped yet.
we
This
want to
ain't
hear
even
some music.
mixed yet.
Here we go, Lana Love.
You ain't even gonna call me back. Do I really wanna love like that? You ain't even gonna call me back. Do I really wanna love like that? My body's saying let's go. Give me that good love, give me that good love, give me that good draw. Give me that.
Where's Carmine? Carmine, come here. All right. We gonna dance or what? Yeah, let's do it. That's your baby, you got it.
It's nice.
I just wanna watch you take it all out. I just wanna hit it like a good drug.
Lana Love, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. Lana Love. I want y'all to support Lana Love. Show love to Lana Love. Lana Love, tell your fans where they can find you at one more time.
At at Lana Love Music. Lana
Yes.
Love out.
Lana
Yeah.
Love.
Thank you, Vito. You're
How-
out.
So how long you gonna be in New York though?
I'm gonna be in New York for about 6 days.
6 days.
6
So
days, and then I'm out.
what you got going on while you're here? What you gonna do?
I'm producing I mean, we've been back to back, booked,
Oh, God.
booked.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we have interviews. I'm just massaging out the rest of my team.
Mm-hmm.
I've been a lot of meetings, working with a couple producers that I'm really excited about. Getting the right people in place is all.
Right.
So yeah, and then spending time, with fam. Yeah.
So is there anything you want to leave the viewers with? You want to tell them about Lana Love before we go?
I have one thing that I want to leave.
Yeah, you tell.
Okay. This is like my mission statement, and it is everything, absolutely everything is love. Everything. So love hard. Thank you so much for watching. Appreciate it.
Lana Love, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Support this lady right here.
Thank you.
All right, Lana Love.
Love you,
Thank you
guys.
for coming.
Thank you, Vito. Thank
Here
you
it
so
is.
much. We got it.
Yep.